Cubs handle the Pirates, and they start this divisional stretch with a win, and they continue to roll in April. Yeah, I guess there's more days in April. I was ready to end the month, but who wants to pay your mortgage or your rent a couple days early? Not the Cubs, and they continue to roll. But when I saw Shota Imanaga leave the game, there's one pitcher I thought of that represented the cavalry on the way. I'm going to talk about him. And the offense, look, they had a great night. But there's another guy out there that's going to be in that lineup sooner than later. We're going to talk Shota Imanaga. And then also, how about Gage Workman? Traded to the White Sox, and he's already talking smack about his ex-team. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, and let's go. What do you say, everybody? It's Mick Gillespie. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel, at Broadcaster Mick on the socials. And I appreciate you guys being here as we talk Cubs baseball on a daily basis. And I hope that I'll see you guys on the socials and obviously on the channel every day. All right. I know I made a mistake, and I left thinking that April was one of these short-dayed months. And then all of a sudden, the Cubs are still in April playing the Pirates. So that's all me. And I'll tell you, April just continues to get better. Pete Crow Armstrong with a home run. Dansby Swanson hit the ball out of the ballpark. Carson Kelly hit a home run. Who's had a bigger April, Carson Kelly or Pete Crow Armstrong? Hollywood Pete. I don't know. But the Cubs now 18-12 in the month. They clubbed the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Big win for this team because these are the games that they have to win against teams that they're clearly better than. And this is the next thing that I want to see. They played a stretch of teams, all of them with great winning percentages, all of them playing good baseball, and they won the stretch. You know, it wasn't perfect, but they hung and they took care of business. Now, all of a sudden, these are teams that you got to take care of. The Pirates, obviously, you got to beat the Reds, they're a divisional opponent, the Brewers, but you got to take care of those teams that you're clearly better than. And it was good to see them taking care of business in that first game against the Pirates. Now, in the game, Shota Imanaga left. They're calling it leg cramps. Let's hope that that's what it is. It was another great game for him, mixing up his pitches, doing his thing. What a find he was. So thankful that he loved the Cubs and Chicago enough to want to be a part of it. But he is just, when he's on, he's impossible to hit. And he had another one of those outings last night, kind of set the bullpen up and the team up to get that win. And, but Shota's as good as it gets. Now, he goes out with leg cramps, and this is why I made the title of the show today, The Calgary's on the Way, or, whatever, that the Calgary's out there. And that's because you have to pay attention to some of the players in Iowa. And the first guy that you need to watch, and I did a video on this recently, Cade Horton, another dominant outing for Horton. So now he's got a 106 ERA in 4 starts, a 1-1 record. He's given up 2 earned runs in 17 innings. The walks to me are a little alarming. 11 walks, but 23 strikeouts. How much longer are you going to go with him wasting these bullets in the minor leagues? If Shota were to be really hurt, he's the guy that's got to get the call. And look, I love some of the other options out there, but we've got Javier Assad that's injured. You got Justin Steele that's out for the year. You'd love Jordan Wicks to be a guy that could slide into that spot, but Cade Horton is going to be the best of the best when it comes to Cubs minor league pitchers and prospects. He's the real deal. You're seeing it now in Iowa, and I'm excited about it. Honestly, I'm really excited about what this thing's going to look like with Cade Horton when he finally gets the opportunity to play in the big leagues. And I'm glad that Shota just left with what they're calling leg cramps, because the Cubs are definitely going to need him as they move forward. But then staying along those same lines, here's another guy that I highlighted recently, and I got to do it again because he continues to just hit. And that's Moisés Ballesteros. Batting average is up to 414 now. The on-base percentage is 475. That's 22 games in Iowa. I mean, that's impressive, right? 2 home runs, 7 doubles, 12 runs batted in. The guy's been just a machine, the way that he's been tearing up pitching. And he's a catcher by trade, but he plays some first base. He's not very tall. I see him as a left-handed DH option. I think that he's a guy who could be kind of like a Davey Martinez type. Maybe he's not going to hit a ton of power, but he'll get enough doubles and runs batted in where he'll make it worth it. He's always a tough out. And when I look at the roster, I'm like saying, hey, it's a competitive roster, but at the same time, it's a roster that when you look at, some of the things that this team's able to do or not able to do, having him be, hey, someone that you can count on to drive in some runs, to do some damage is only going to help the Cubs. And so I really feel like that this guy is someone that's going to be on the team sooner than later. And I said it before, I'm going to say it again. He just continues to hit, and he's forcing their hand to have to put him in there. So Moisés Ballesteros with another. Well, a trade was made, and Gage Workman, we talked about this, I think on a show yesterday or the day before. Anyway, the Rule 5 pick from the Tigers was DFA'd and eventually traded to the White Sox. And so he's introduced, and he says, I just want to read this. He was saying, and which was really nice. He basically said that he was grateful for his time with the Cubs, good people over there, but now I'm with the White Sox, and I'm excited to be here, and now I want to beat the Cubs. Look, that's what a competitor says. And he should be grateful. I mean, he'd be in the minor leagues if it wasn't for the Cubs. And he had 14 at bats, and he was hitting 212. And one of those hits was off of like a position player. It's not like he went in and tore it up. But I thought that, that he showed that he could play defense. He's pretty good. Craig Counsell talked about him being in a tough spot. Rule 5 picks always in a tough spot, especially with a team that has high expectations. And they basically couldn't give him the opportunity. I don't understand why in the first place the Cubs would have gone and signed a Rule 5 draft pick, knowing that they've been getting rid of their prospects for nothing this entire offseason. Luis Vazquez and Alexander Canario and Michael Arias and, going down the list. Like, it just seems like, if they got somebody that can help them win this year and save everyone's job, which I get, they're keeping. And then they send Matt Shaw to the minor leagues, and then all of a sudden Gage Workman's there, and now they trade him to the White Sox for cash considerations. So if he turns out to be a good player, it's because the Cubs don't feel like they're in a spot where they can be patient, and it's because they're not in a spot where they can be patient. If they're patient, people are getting fired, and they could still have a good season and still people get fired. It's one of those deals where some of the roster management stuff to me, like this, I never understood, because from the beginning, you knew that this guy wasn't going to come in there and play. There's just no chance. And they would rather have a 40-year-old, Justin Turner than have, somebody that's in their early 20s that isn't quite ready yet. And it's a risk, because that person could go somewhere else and be really successful. But that's the way that this is right now. And honestly, trying to win now is fun. Waiting for next year stinks. And they've done a lot of this. So, you wish him the best of luck over with the White Sox. They're one of the worst teams in baseball, so he'll get to play some. And they have time to develop him. And it's a risk for the Cubs. If their scouts are right about this guy, then we may look back on this trade and go, man, that was a bad deal. But at the time when you're trying to win now and you need that roster spot, for some guys that are, the John Birdies of the world that are just super utility players, long-term, probably not a good play, but for right now, yeah, it is. So anyway, Gage Workman saying that kind of made me chuckle a little bit. And, and he's lucky that he's not in the minor leagues, and the Cubs kind of started that for him. And now he's with the White Sox. And so he get to play. So anyway, look, the bottom line is this, is that the Cubs have two of the best prospects in baseball with Ballesteros and Horton. Both of those guys are ready. Don't forget about Owen Casey, someone that might be able to help them as well. The Cubs are in the market for a starting pitcher. I'm telling you that right now. They also are coming to grips with the amount of money it's going to take for them to sign, to sign Tucker. And I think that they should. I mean, I really believe that this is what a star player looks like. But if they don't sign him, the Yankees will, or the Giants will. Somebody's going to sign him. So they have at least this season to try to make something happen and keep him after they gave up so much for him. But anyway, I believe in him. And, you're starting to hear stories now where they're like, hey, we're going to come to grips with the fact this guy's going to cost a lot. Maybe we're going to pay it. Guys, thanks for hanging out on the Cubs baseball channel. Love your comments. Love you guys calling me out for not realizing that April wasn't over yet. Sorry, but I'm telling you what Pete Crow Armstrong and Carson Kelly are doing right now is phenomenal. I want to see that continue. And I want to see you guys continue to be on the channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate you so much. We're going to keep on rocking. And we hope that you guys do the same thing with us right here on the channel. So go Cubs. Season is here. And let's get this thing going again tomorrow with a new show.